Allah, I tell you, He's given me so much armament, so much, that the original understanding, that the format of the debate was an hour each. First speaker speaks for 50 minutes, second one 60, and the first man again for 10. And he opted to speak first. First 50, then me 60, and then he 10 again. There are advantages and disadvantages of such a format, but this is the fairest format one can think of. It's the fairest. Now he's going back on the original contract. I left my country, I'm here now, tomorrow the debate taking place, and he's talking about speaking for 20 minutes. In other words, he wants to gag me for 20. Imagine a man coming from 10,000 miles to speak for 20 minutes. And a thing concerning 1,200 million Christians who believe that this book is the book of God, he's going to deal with it 20 minutes. Reason, you might be able to guess, is the guy is terrified. You see? Because now 20 minutes he can make an oration, tantalize, do some little dancing, and create an impression that he won the day. And we won't have the chance to grapple with what he has spoken. But inshallah, pray that things come out right, that at least we have an hour each, inshallah. Even if it's 20 minutes, we'll do the job inshallah in 20 minutes. But we would prefer to have an hour. Now in his books, he's written some beautiful books. Very potent books. He is the strongest in his condemnation of alcohol. He is the strongest among the Christian evangelists, preachers, in his condemnation of pornography. He is the strongest in his condemnation of incest. He is the strongest in his condemnation of homosexuality. These books. He is the closest to the Muslims in his morality, his standard of morality. He falls a little short, and his theology is off the target, is off the mark. His theology, understanding of God. But otherwise, the man, you would say, he's the closest to the Muslims in his condemnation of all these evils. In his book on incest, which I might, if I have a chance to use, I will use, to prove that the Bible is not the word of God. Incest. He says, incest in America has become of epidemic proportions. Incest. I wonder if you all know what incest is. You do know. I don't have to explain to you. In the Middle East I had to. See, I asked the people, how many of you don't know the word incest? And about half of them, they used to put up their hands. They never heard the word incest. It's not in our common usage. So I had to explain what incest is. But I take it that the American people are better informed than people in the Middle East or in India or Pakistan. You see, in his book, he gives us 10 cases of incest from the Holy Bible. That in this Bible, there are 10 cases. 10 different couplings of incest in this holy book, the Bible. So it does shock a person. What is it? Is this a textbook on incest? That if you want to know what can you do to commit incest? Like it tells you in the first book of the Bible called Genesis, I knew about 4 cases of incest. In his book, he gives me the 5th one. So he's my teacher. He educated me one more incest than what I knew. Father and daughters getting together night after night. And the father made the daughters pregnant, and both of them gave birth to a son each. One was named Moab, and the other one was named Ammon, from whom we get the names Ammonites and the Moabites in the Bible. Children of Lut alayhi salam cohabiting with his daughters. Then Genesis chapter 35 verse 22, it speaks about Reuben, one of the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam. He goes and cohabits with his mother on the roof. And this is, Israel was told that your son with his mother. And he didn't even say oof. He didn't even say ah. He didn't even say oof. Imagine. The man is told that your son did this to your wife. Your son did it to your wife, his mother. And he didn't even say, he said nothing. Then he speaks about Ibrahim alayhi salam. They say that he cohabited with his sister Sarah, was his sister. They say, Genesis chapter 38, it speaks about Judah, the father of the Jewish race, from whom we get the word Judaism, we get the word Judea, Huda, Yehuda, Yehudi, Judah. That Judah is going to Timnah to shear his sheep, and he sees his daughter-in-law sitting by the wayside, and he comes up to her and says, allow me to come in unto thee. This is biblical language, the King James Version. Jimmy Swaggart loves this version, King James. So I'm quoting from the King James Version. He says, allow me to come in unto thee. I'm only quoting the Holy Bible. So she said, what will that give me? He said, what? In other words, so he says, I will give you a kid from the flock, a baby goat. So she said, what guarantee that I will give it? Suppose you enjoy and you go away and I don't see you again. What guarantee is this? What guarantee do you want? So it says your signet means your ring, and your bracelet means I had a bangle in his hand, and a staff, the danda, rod of Moses, asa. So the old man gave it to her, and he cohabited with his daughter-in-law by the roadside and made her pregnant, and she bore twins, Fares and Zara. There's a long detail about it, long story. Very spicy reading. I didn't know at one time that all these things were in the Holy Bible. I was looking for the other books, called The Arabian Nights, the unexpurgated edition by Fitzgerald. And I got it and I read it, But I didn't know that for 2 and 6, 25 cents, I could have got the Bible and I could have got something more spicy than in the Arabian Nights. I didn't know that. You must know. You see? So 10 cases of incest in the book of God. Book of God? For what purpose is God telling you all this? That father and daughters, father-in-law and daughter-in-law, brother and sister, son and mother. For what reason? Why is he telling you all this? Now, the type of stories that you read naturally creates the type of mentality that you have. This is a foregone thing. If you eat junky foods, you become a junkie. If you read filthy, dirty stuff, your mind becomes filthy and dirty. And he says that. Who? Jimmy Swaggart. He's written a book on pornography and he's telling us that this acts like a drug. Pornography acts like a drug. He says you get addicted to it, just like a drug. Like alcohol, like drug, marijuana, you also get addicted to pornography. Addiction takes place. Then escalation takes place. Then desensitization. These are all his terms. I didn't know. He's made research. Desensitization takes place. And then number 4 is that you want to act out the role. What you are seeing, reading, you act it out. That is how pornography works. So, in this holy book, there is a beautiful chapter, the highest form of pornography that you can think of. In my country, my government banned extracts from the Bible. It's a very strong government, very Christian. Of course, it has this unjust policy of apartheid, but religiously, it's one of the most religious communities of the Christians in the world. Some of the things that I can buy here, your Playboy magazine and something else like that from Heathrow, or from Kennedy Airport, or from Chicago. I land in South Africa and I go to jail for 2 years. That's how strict my government is. Very Christian-like in its morality, its ethics. Now, somebody had published a pamphlet with 9 extracts from the Holy Bible, without adding, without deleting anything. 9 extracts from the Holy Bible. And this was sent, somebody sent it to the publications board, and the publications board declared this undesirable, means banned. And there were 2 priests on the board when they banned this. But these poor priests, they didn't know that it was from their own holy book. They didn't know it. Can you imagine? Verses from the Bible, 9 extracts banned. My country, for one word, a 1 4-letter word, they had banned a book called Lady Chatterley's Lover. One word, one offensive word. For 20 years, the book was on the banned list. They have rebanned it. Now they're grown up now, more mature. They said, now I think the people are mature enough to read it, that one word. Here are 9 extracts which are undesirable. So we say on the same basis, you should ban the Holy Bible. But of course, they live by it, they take an oath by it, so it's very, very difficult. But they have done the job. They've given it to us that this is undesirable. Pornography of the highest order. George Bernard Shaw, a British playwright, he says, it's the most dangerous book on earth. He says, keep it under lock and key. Your children must not have access to it. The Plain Truth magazine, the Armstrong family, here, American. They are printing 8,080,000 a month for free distribution.